Good morning, folks. You're tuned to Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, the tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection Workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know-how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here, it's not just about fixing cars. It's about keeping you rolling and saving you money and giving you the confidence to understand what's under that hood. From the classics to the commuters, the weird noises to the what the heck moments, we've got you covered. So grab your coffee, sit back, join the crew, because this is Car Connection, your Monday through Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, a few good laughs. And I'm Niall Motormouth Jenkins, and we are shifting into drive this morning. Well, we've made it to the weekend. Yep, we've done it. We pulled it off, and I can't believe how fast spring break has chugged along, and it's wrapping up after this weekend, and it's everybody back to business as normal, and all the crazies back on the road. Yeah, it's been really quiet out there. I've actually been able to run some errands and get back the same day and not have to take my jammies and my toothbrush on the road. But I will say, I know where they are. You ask. Costco. Yep. I won't do that again. Went in there and it was like pulling a shopping cart onto the 401 West. It was full body contact and I had no gear whatsoever. And I'll tell you, those seniors in there, they weren't taking any prisoners either. Yep. If they got their cart kind of sort of in front of yours, they wouldn't move. They were on it. They were like holding their ground. It took me forever to get a half a dozen thingamies and get the heck out of Dodge. Just take a breath. It'll be okay, Motormouth. It's going to be all right. Well, good morning to you. If you're just scooting through the drive-through, double check your order. It is Friday. It has been vacation week for many. And, people make mistakes. It just happens. Poo-poo happens even while you're watching. You ever notice that? So double check, lock her down, because we got a lot to get through today, and we're going to just sit back. We're going to have some fun. What do you think about that? Are you good with that? Just have some fun. Why? Because here in the Car Connection Workshop, we work hard 6 days a week, Monday through Friday, putting out material for you, shooting videos, getting videos lined up, getting them edited, getting them in order on the schedule. If you saw my schedule board, you'd go, I quit. Yeah, you probably would. You go, there isn't a blank space anywhere. Like, where do you breathe? No, you don't. Yeah, go ahead. Take a breath now. Okay, you're done for the month. Move on. Yeah, lots of things, moving pieces with Car Connection all the time. And you know what? You got to keep a schedule. Everything's got to run on time. And sometimes you might just screw it up. And it's okay. You can laugh. You can laugh at yourself. In fact, we had a shot a video on Monday, and I'm what was I doing on that? I was gush and flushing the cooling system, and then the hose blew off, and I got like the ultimate antifreeze shower. Hey, you got to watch that one. That's going to come out next week, and I'll do a wrap up to that one this morning. Skippy's not around, but I'm still trying to get all the crud out of the engine block on this 97 Jeep TJ Wrangler Rescue. And once I get that done, then it's out until I have to do the welding on the floor, which won't be until the summer. Anyhow, I laugh at myself, and that's what I'm saying. So Car Connection and the Car Connection Workshops brought to you by Earl and Louise Grant at City Auto Sales and Leasing, Greater Toronto Area's pre-owned premier auto store, low mileage quality vehicles at fair prices, in-house leasing and financing available. They don't sell any junk, folks. That's why they made it to be in partnership and part of our community with Car Connection, is you can buy with confidence and be treated with nothing less than honesty and integrity. If you're looking for something specific, they do carry a pretty decent inventory under roof and outside. Let Earl and Louise Grant know exactly what you're looking for. They have over 20 plus years, and that means they've created the resources to find that specific vehicle you're looking for. That's City Auto Sales and Leasing. In times of community support is very, very crucial right now. Absolutely. The Crystal Ridge Dream Center shines as a beacon of compassion and transformation. They're located at 385 Derby Road, right in the heart of Crystal Beach. So if you know that area, that's where they're located. And there's a lot of low-income families in that area, as well as Fort Erie and surrounding. So Crystal Ridge Dream Center, serving men, women, children, meals, love, hope, and changing lives one at a time in the Niagara region. They feed out the door on side door Tuesdays and Fridays. They put hot meals out, and now they're between 260 and 300 meals twice a week. And they don't get any government funding, so whatever we can throw at them and support them is well received. Anything over $25, you get a tax receipt. They are a nonprofit, faith-based organization, changing lives one at a time. All the programs they have running for seniors, young adults, the children, single moms, widows, orphans, are all available to you, including if you need a hot meal. It's Tuesday and Friday. They'll serve you a beautiful meal, all at no cost. So let's dig in deep. Take a look at them online. Click on their link below their logo for all our program partners and check them out. These are people that have been a part of Car Connection for a long time, and when we were looking at switching out of radio onto digital platforms, which give you now more ways to watch, listen, and engage with us. That's it exactly. Thank you to our certified financial planning professionals, Tony Miele, Larry Tetro, my brothers from other mothers. They have combined over 50 years experience as fiduciaries. You are not going to share anything with them, honestly, folks, that they have not seen or heard before or dealt with. So don't let that be an excuse. I wouldn't be sitting talking to you right here if it weren't for those two fellas. Certified financial planning professionals. I have lost my shirt and my lunch money and milk money 3 times. Wiped out. I mean wiped out. When you're sitting on the floor in your living room, rolling pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters to keep the lights, the water, and everything rolling, then you know you're at the bottom. And not all by my choice, I might add. Just stuff happens. When I say poo-poo happens, it does, doesn't it? So these guys will help dig you out of what seems to be a very dark, deep cavern. But you've got to be willing to open up and share. Share with them. So here's what you get. Being a part of Car Connection, and these fellas, I've known them for over 20 years. They are my brothers from other mothers. They know exactly what to do and how to do it. You get an hour and a coffee discovery meeting, and you can leave your wallets, leave your purses at home. Nobody's giving you a bill. Take that time to get your questions answered on investments, an investment portfolio. If it's with the bank, they're going to tell you what you need to do with that. If you're in over your head, over your eyeballs with debt, they're going to work that out for you and see how they can get that pressure off of you and what the game plan is. Estate planning. If you have a checkbook, a bank account, and children, it's not a do-it-yourself program, folks. Don't go there. The CRA will love you. Yeah, they will absolutely eat your estate raw. So estate planning needs to be done properly and anchored, well anchored. They can do mortgages for you. I haven't had a mortgage with a bank for 15 plus years, and I'm never going back to the bank. They have an amazing mortgage team out in Winnipeg, and the rates are fabulous. And they're willing to work with you. And there's more. You have more services than I can mention. So thank you guys, our certified financial planning professionals, for being there for us to help us navigate some of the most uncharted, dangerous waters we can think of, and that's the economy and our household. Tony Miele, Larry Tetro, connect with either one of them and just sit down and have that discovery meeting. Get your questions answered by those who have the fruit on the tree. That's what my professor taught me, and I'll tell you what, it's true. Everyone else will try and solve your life's problems, but their own life is a mess. Exactly. They mean well, don't disrespect, smile and nod, but if their feet aren't standing where you want to be, then you should not be taking any kind of advice from them whatsoever. There you go. I given you a nugget this morning. It's absolutely true. Thank you to the Grimo family at Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls. They've been busy building Canada since 1931 with building supplies, hardscape landscaping materials. Why not get into that idea of having your very own outdoor backyard space, your little oasis where you can just hang out and be? It's very good for the mind, trust me. I have that space, and I can't wait to get out there and sit at my table and read my book, or just sit and listen to some quiet music, or just listen to the birds. It's absolutely therapeutic. So get on that. They can help you, line you up with contractors that can start, estimate, and do the job well, and build that hardscape landscaping project for you with the best products on the face of the planet. And to Total Freedom Darien Center, New York, and Sydney, Manitoba, they are a addiction campus. That's what they do. All age groups, men, women, young adults, wherever you're at. If you've made that decision, you're sick and tired, fed up, disgusted, and bored of being another lap around the mountain, stuck in your very own addiction, you got to bring it into the light. Take it out of the darkness, bring it into the light, get to a Total Freedom Addiction Campus, Canada, USA, and there is a brand new life that's waiting for you there, because you can't fix what you can't see. They're an alternative addiction program bringing Christ-centered healing and restoration to individuals and families that have been enslaved by cycles of addiction and destructive behavior. And I've worked alongside them for a long time, and I'll tell you, I've seen people come through there. It's not a program. I'll tell you that right now. It is not a program. It is a life change. So thank you for when you purchase merchandise from our website, which is the biggest drawer in our toolbox. Everything we talk about lives on our website so that it's easy. You don't have all these mega choices to connect with us. Go to our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. All our program partners are there. Their logos are on the home page. Click, and you're in. All the pages are set up the same, so navigation from one program partner, recommended business, to the next are set up exactly the same. No confusion. And you can meet them. Thank you in advance for giving them your business. In the top right-hand corner of our homepage, you will find all the links for all the platforms. We're working our tails off to grow, and we ask for your help in doing so by doing all those little things, like, share, follow, your comments down below on our videos, ring the bell, notification bell, so you know when the 3 videos come out each and every week. New videos, 2 for Tuesday, 1 every Friday, and we've been doing that for well over a year. We're almost over the top of 200 videos. There's Facebook, Instagram, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. We're tied in with the businesses there and the community. Just click on the businesses tab to find us. Our iHeartRadio icon is there, and our online Car Connection Motormouth merchandise store is there. Buy some, grab some gear. I always say, grab some gear. Join the crew in the battle and the fight against addiction. To help those who have made that decision, today's the day to get to a Total Freedom Addiction Campus and get that new life that waits for them there. Well, it is Fun Friday. What are we going to be talking about today? Well, some interesting things. I'm going to give you a little bit of my background. If you have questions, tomorrow is Saturday, Q&A, 1 hour, 8 till 9. I answer questions, and the questions have been coming in. And if you haven't sent your question in, I don't know why not. Where else do you have access to an automotive service technician with 44 years plus experience for free? for free. And I'm not just a DIYer. I have my licenses. I just paid for them for another year, and I'm up to date, current with all the new stuff and the old stuff. And I'll tell you what, I like the older stuff, and we're not talking vintage, 10 years, 15 years old. You know why? Because that stuff, we can get decent parts for them at a decent price, and you can keep that older car rolling as long as you want, and they're much better to work on. The quality, I have to say, the quality is superior to what we see today. Too much plastic. Honest to goodness, plastic is cheap. It is. It's cheap. And everything we see today, here's what you got to know. It's built by the lowest bidder. That's right. Every single thing around us is built by the lowest bidder. That's what we got to know. So let's jump in this morning. I have a question for you. So if you have questions, today would be the day to email them into me. And reminder in the description box for all the YouTube videos, which will teach you all the basic fundamentals of automotive repairs and service and maintenance. I teach you the 5 things, what it is, where it is, how it works, how it breaks, and how you could have understood that component a little bit better may have saved you a lot of money. So those are the items that you will learn in every video, and you'll probably laugh at me as well at the same time. And it is okay. It's absolutely okay. Because I know you're laughing with me, not at me, right? Okay, so remember to do all those little things like share, follow, subscribe. If you're enjoying the videos, like I know you are, 93% of you have not subscribed. I don't know why, but you're watching the videos and you're not subscribed. That really helps us. And the whole purpose of everything we've been doing for 32 years is to be able to reach out and help others just like you and me, maybe down on their luck, or, maybe a single mom trying to keep afloat, raising 2-3 kids. Could be a widow, a fella, or a woman that, husband passed away and they're lost. They don't know what to do, and the car is just one of those things that just stresses them right out. And last summer we were able to help a couple of widows and get vehicles back out on the road. But unfortunately, because we're not monetized yet, we couldn't buy parts for them, but we could supply the labor. And in lieu, take some videos and show you what we're working on, why we're working on it. And so the 5 things. Again, what it is, where it is, how it works, how it breaks, and what you could learn as basic automotive service and repair fundamentals that would save you not hundreds, thousands of dollars. And we are going to run the 30-day fuel savings challenge as soon as we have some stable weather out there. That's going to make a huge difference to the outcome of that challenge. It certainly will. So let's get started with things. We have our Fun Friday on deck today. Again, if you've got automotive questions, I need to get them into my mailbox today so I can answer them on the air tomorrow. And thank you to all those who have been participating and sending their questions in. Really appreciate it. It makes for great conversation. And when you share a question, somebody else may be thinking the exact same thing, but they're just a little shy or nervous to send me an email. I don't bite too hard anymore. Treatment therapy has been really good for that. I'm not much of a biter anymore. So let's have our morning swiggy together, brought to us by all our program partners, because without them, we can't keep the lights on and can't keep the ignition on and the engine running smoothly, folks. And Skippy and I, we do like a really hot cup of coffee in the morning and a snack. So we need a few bucks to do that, and we appreciate our program partners for being able to do that. So let's count it down, whatever your morning beverage is. Keep an eye on the road if you're driving this morning. If you're just kind of hanging out, that's good. That's really good. Have a second cup on 3, 2, 1. Ready? 3, 2, 1. That's right on. I got that one down to a science. Question for you this morning. And your answer, you got to email it to me. Okay, you ready? Listen closely. This is important. You know, you can hear, but how's it work? You're listening, but you're not really hearing. Or are you hearing, but you're not really listening? So that's what's important. And when you read an email or somebody's text, read the whole thing. And that brings me to our descriptions for the videos and for the podcasts. I write them myself, and I put a lot of details in there, a lot of nuggets in every description that will help you even more beyond the videos, beyond the podcasts. I do it with specific intent. I put information there that if you're willing to come and get it, it's there for you for free. So don't just skim the description box and click on the video, because if you do, you are missing out on a ton of valuable information that you could take to have as your own. I got 44 years experience, and I'm not patting myself on the back or saying that I'm a big shot. I'm a little shot that just keeps shooting. I'm here in your corner. I'm not for the manufacturer. I'm not for the sales dudes. I'm here for you to teach you the car game, because it is a car game, and I stay ahead of what's coming and what's going on so that I can bring the truth to the table for you to save you not hundreds but thousands of dollars. You know, having a solid gold mechanic, they don't wait for your car to break. They help you to stop it from breaking in the first place. That's the technician you want to grab hold of and hang on, because that's the fella or fellette. There are a lot of women, young ladies getting into the trade. The trade is dying. There is a shortage of technicians North America wide. It's huge. It's a tsunami. And we were talking about that back in 1992, 97, 2000, into the early 2000s up to 2007, that there was going to be a shortage of automotive service technicians North America wide, not just in automotive, all platforms. And it's here. It has arrived, and it's scary. I get a call usually once or twice a year wanting to put me back out in the grunt field, but you know what? Your body takes an absolute beating in automotive. It absolutely does. It is not for the squeamish. It will challenge you mentally, physically, and emotionally all the time. It really is a challenging career. I'm not saying that to be negative. And I remember when I was talking to, I went to see a fella in a little town called Smithville. That's where I grew up for most of my life. Then moved on to St. Anne's, another small town, which was close to Smithville. So I grew up in Sodbusterville. And I worked on farms. When I was 13, I was driving tractor and baling hay, picking 150,000 eggs a day, feeding beef cattle, milking cows. Every day was fun, was a fun day. And hauling out, their trash. That's where I grew up. And I went into a Texaco station, and I talked to a fella, Chris Hadler. I remember his name. Was very good to me. He was hard on me when I needed that discipline to push myself, and he didn't hire me to do oil changes. And I remember going in, and I said to him, and yeah, I'm getting there with this. I went in, and I said, I'd like an apprenticeship. And he looked at me, and he said, oh, so you want to be one of us then? I go, yeah. Well, you got to be an idiot, but I'll sign you up. That's what he said to me. And here I am, 44 plus years, still in the trade, and I say thank you to Chris Hadler for giving me a chance. And he worked me hard, and that's okay. I didn't just get hired to be Skippy in the shop, changing tires, changing oil, and he said, I'm not having you here just to do that stuff. He says, I can do that myself. No, get under the hood of that. You're going to take the cylinder heads off. And get under there, you're going to take the transmission out. We got to change the clutch. He put me on the hard stuff right away, and that's how you learn. So if you've got kids at home, they're wondering what to do, I would say, you know what? You want to become a really good, solid person that looks at things totally different than anyone else, go get trained to be a top drawer automotive service tech, because you'll use your computer theory, you'll use it all. Your brain, your hands, your brawn, your smarts. It will challenge you all the time to get better, to be better, to become a diagnostician, to not only be able to diagnose properly and repair properly, but also learn to communicate with people. It covers every angle of life. Becoming an automotive service tech is not for the squeamish. And we have a major shortage of techs. In the U.S., Ford is having a problem. They got all kinds of dealerships open and no service techs in the service bays. They're short over 7,000 automotive service techs. And you don't build a service technician overnight. You can know it all on paper, but I'll tell you what, forget about it. Because when you're in the service bays, a man with a theory will always be at the mercy of a man with experience. .com, .org, .ca, .net. That's it. Weather for today. You ready for it? Heading into the weekend. What's a weekend anyway? Today, bringing it up here. Whoa, here we go. Feels like, no, that's not right. What's the matter with you folks? Are you on medication? Maybe you should be. 30 degrees right now and cloudy. Rainy conditions expected around 10 a.m. Today's temperature range, 28 to 46 Fahrenheit, and it will feel more like 27 to 42 degrees Fahrenheit. So today, the high for today is 46 degrees. The overnight low is going to be 28. 28. That's the answer to any question. Somebody asks you a question, you don't have the answer, it's always 28. That's official. So don't see any snows or ice rain or anything like that out there. So that's fantastic on a Friday. Drive safe. People tend to shut things down, if you know what I mean, on a Friday and stop thinking. Keep an eye out for them. Remember, peace, patience, kindness always pays off at the end. So I have a question for you, and I'm going to rattle it off. So here you go. It's Fun Friday. You have to send me your answer. You have to email me your answer. We are working for the hard for the month of April. My service tech friend is coming back from his snowbird vacation. Yeah, he sends me pictures and stuff. It's crazy good. Living down in the Keys all winter. Yeah, baby. Eat some gator. Anyhow, yeah, he's coming back, and I just need him to help me to how we're going to connect our IP over internet phone system so that we can take calls during the program on Saturdays, so once a week, so we can have a live call-in automotive program on Saturdays. But right now it's Q&A, so you send in a question, and I'll read it out on the air and give you the answer on Saturdays. So from 8 till 9, you can be with us and have your question answered live on the air just by tuning in. So here's my question to you, and you have to email me your answer. Ready? 3 frogs on a log, one deciding to jump off. How many frogs on the log? Got it? That's what I want you to answer. I'll read it out one more time from my memory. 3 frogs on a log, one deciding to jump off. How many frogs are on the log? Send in your answer. Niall@ccbusnet.com or motormouth.jenkins@gmail.com. And all that information is always included in the description on our videos and in the description on our podcast. And again, if you're skimming, you're losing a ton of nuggets I put with specific intent in the description box for our YouTube videos and our podcasts that you will not hear or see anywhere else. So if you're a skimmer, you're not doing yourself justice. I'm teaching you in the description box. That's what I'm doing. I'm teaching you in the description box. So no matter what age group you are, size, build, color, culture, one leg, one eye, one arm, it doesn't matter. You'll get something out of it. Absolutely. Because knowledge is power. It absolutely is. I started in the trade, and I got the bug at about age 13. And my pops, who's still around, yep, he's got all his faculties sometimes. Most of the time. He's a good pops. Yeah, we love him. He's 89, and he texts. He uses his cell phone. He T-moves, not as much anymore. But he's a millwright by trade and brought us all to Canada from England, except for my sister. She's a foreigner in the family. She was born in 1967. Yeah, she's true Canadian with some English. We came over on the Atlantic. That's all I remember. I remember hanging on to my Uncle John's neck. And apparently I kind of embedded my fingernails into the side of his neck. But we were boat people. We arrived across the Atlantic into Canada. And my pops was a millwright, got a job with Westinghouse on, I think it was Sanford Avenue at that time. Something like that. But anyways, I'm not going to start off with it all happened because I didn't go to the zoo. No, that's not true. I went to the Buffalo Zoo. I think I was 12. Saw the monkeys. Said, I think I know that one. Anyways, yeah, that was the only time I went to I went to the Toronto Zoo. I really enjoyed that. Anyhow, before I get down a rabbit hole, so at age 13, I was helping my pops change an engine on an old Mercury pickup truck in a barn in Bimbrook, Ontario, which is now like a metropolis, I'm told. There was nothing there. I think there was a post office and a corner store, and we were in a barn that had more holes in it than the Titanic in the middle of winter, changing an engine out. And I remember getting paint all over my face because I was painting something. Then my pops wipes it all off with gasoline on a rag, and we drove home that way. And the whole time I'm thinking, I could light on fire. Yeah, but anyways, that's how I got my start. I loved it. I loved pulling the engine out, putting another one in, and we got it running, and we drove it. And that's when I got the bug. I knew what I wanted to do. I enjoyed farming very much as a kid and picking fruit, all that. I really, really enjoyed it. I absolutely did. I made a lot of money picking fruit. I was a good fruit picker. I was easy on the product and understood, people, this stuff's going to people's tables. Don't be a wiener about it. Do some really good picking, and then farmers would call me and say, hey, can you come pick for us? So I picked everything from strawberries, raspberries, cherries, and then apples in the end of the season. And you know what? I was only a little gaffer, built like a toothpick or a pencil with an eraser on the top. And I was making good money back then. I was clearing $150 a day picking fruit. Do the math. I was like 12, 13 years old, climbing the ladders, hauling in the goods. And I worked on a farm. I worked on the farm one whole summer. I was just a little guy, let me tell you. I was a tiny little feller. And, the wind would blow me away. And my clothes hung on me like a clothesline, pretty much. I looked like I'd been dressed by somebody else in their clothes, and they're bigger than me. But I went to a farm, And that was when we moved in St. Anne's. And I said, I want to work on the farm for the summer and I'll work for free. I said, so give me a chance. So I did. And my pops wasn't too happy about that. But the next year they called me back and they wanted me to come back. And I was milking cows as well and going to school, getting up at like 3:15 in the morning, riding my bike up to the farm, rain, snow, sleet, whatever, and milking cows. And I still remember it. Those are days I remember. They were great. They were great days. You worked hard and you put in an awesome day and you got a lot of stuff done and you did different things every day and some the same. But it was interesting. So the following year, they called me back and they said, we're going to pay you. Now I'm 13 for sure at this point. I'm 13, no driver's license. And they taught me how to drive this little David Brown tractor. And that was my tractor because I knew how to work it and I could pull things and whatnot. So they were paying me $7 an hour. Then there was a government program that came out with the government. And they told me this, government's going to pay us half your wage, so we're going to give you that as well. So I was making like $11 an hour, and I was 13. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, I had some dough. And yeah, so it was good. That's how I even got into automotive even more, because we would have to fix machinery and service it. I learned how to weld there, stick weld, a lot of things to picking up the trade. And, when I turned 16, I left home. I've been back home since 16 just for visits, but I haven't lived back home since age 16. Got my own place to live. I lived just down from the high school, and I got a full-time night job at a chicken processing plant, cleaning the plant all night. And so I was able to put myself through school. I had my own car, paid my own insurance, my gas, repairs, and I went to school during the day. And I got some special treatment because I got a letter from my employer saying, I start work at 4 o'clock and I'm out of work at 7 in the morning. So I worked at a 38,000 square foot chicken plant. My friend John got me a job there. And we cleaned 38,000 square feet of blood, guts, and gore every single night so that 150 people or 150,000 birds would be processed the next day, and almost 100 employees. So we had to make sure the plant was spotless for when the inspectors come in. They do swabs and check and make sure everything is properly cleaned. That was our job. And that was Monday through Friday, and then we went back in. If they did slaughter on Saturdays, we'd have to go in Sunday night. And so Fridays, I would be off school, and I slept until my shift at the chicken plant. That's how I put myself through trade school as well, and paid my way. I paid my way. Learned how to cook, learned how to clean, learned how to do my own laundry, make my own bed, take care of my place, and pay my bills and be responsible for my very own actions. No one else to point the finger at. So that's my background. And I got into the automotive when I walked into the Texaco station, downtown Smithville, Ontario, Canada, and Chris Hadler signed me up as an apprentice. And he waited a whole year. I wanted to finish my grade 11, and that was my own choice. At that time, we only needed grade 10 to get into auto mechanics. He waited a whole year, and then he used to call me Dripper. He'd say, Dripper, you got to get in here now. I can't run this show on my own. I need you full time. Like, I can't just take you after school anymore. Can you do it? And I said, well, I just got to write my exams for grade 11 and accomplish my grade 11. Never got my grade 12. I didn't need it. I knew what I wanted, and that was to become a service tech. So it was more important. I had somebody there ready to sign me up so I could become a service tech and work on it. And he was a great teacher. He had a bad temper, but it was good. Yeah, when hammers are flying, somebody's not happy. Yeah, that's what I know. Someone's not happy. Anyhow, I was there for a couple of years, and then he sold out half his business to a partner, and I lost my job. So I was still in my first year. So that's when I headed into the big smoke, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. That's where I could get back into the trade and keep going, transfer my apprenticeship. So where did I end up there? I'm not sure exactly. Well, that was we were into the 80s. Yeah, you know the deal. You that are the same age as me. The 80s. Yeah, long hair, spandex pants. You know the thing. Yeah. And mullets. I think mullets were around then. I never had a mullet, just so you know. In the trade, it was best to have short hair because you were working under trucks and equipment and stuff, and you were getting filthy dirty, working out in the field, side of the road, on service calls. So I went from the Texaco, I went to Cosmo's Garage, Frid Street, west end of Hamilton, close to the old Spectator building. I was there for a number of years. I think I was in my second year when Cosmo sold me off the team, and I went to work for the Rizzuto family that owned Blue Line Taxi. And I learned a lot there, how to work fast, how to get stuff done in a hurry. And we did repairs. I worked on John Street South, the shop there. So we did some cab work, but mostly vehicles off the street. But I did both. And I would work at nighttime, get paid extra to fix a cab, pull a transmission out, get another one back in, get it back out on the road. You learn how to work fast and efficient and on your own. Then from there, I stayed there quite a while. I was in my third year of my apprenticeship at that time, and I was ready to write. I had written my 310T at that time, and then I wanted to get my diesel endorsement. So I said to Tony Rizzuto at the time, they were great to me, great people, taught me a lot of things, helped me have my own cab, which was making me money to buy a house and other things, take a vacation. And they taught me how to do that from scratch and helped me do the whole thing. And I had to leave there to go into heavy trucks and equipment full time for 1,670 man hours to be able to write my diesel license at that time. So I had to do 1,670 straight hours on diesel. So I got a job with Peterbilt of Ontario and that was on Nash Road, I think. Nash Road? Yeah, Nash. Barton and Nash. And the dealership closed. So my buddy Boner and I, we got out of there, and I got us a job up in Millgrove, working for some people up there. I won't say who that was. That was a bad deal. Yeah, there was some funny stuff going on there. We stayed about a year and got out of there, and then I got picked up by Mack Trucks of Canada. So I worked for Mack Trucks, big dealership, Queensway and Kipling. There was 91 of us mechanics. We worked days and extended afternoons there. That was a hard working job. It was the first time I worked for a union company, which was interesting, very. And I was driving from the Hamilton Mountain to Queensway and Kipling every day. And on the swing shift, we did 1 month of days, 1 month of steady, extended afternoons. We'd work from 3:30, overlap with the day shift, and we'd work until 1:30 in the morning. And then Fridays, we got off at 11. And I fell asleep on the highway coming home a couple times, and it was a close call, babies, twice. And that's when I didn't like the union shop. I loved the work. I enjoyed working on the Macs and learned a lot there. But I had to get out. I couldn't do the drive. So I called, at that time, my brother-in-law at Peterbilt of Ontario, and I said, can you guys help me out? And in 10 minutes, I had another job with Peterbilt. So I went to Peterbilt. And that's where I put enough hours in at Mack Trucks of Canada that I was able to take an afternoon off, go downtown, sit and write the 4.5 hour exam. And I came out with my diesel endorsement and my diesel license, so I could go anywhere in Ontario and out of Ontario as well. So I got, at that time, you could earn your interprovincial if you were 80% or more. So I passed with 86, which I never got those marks ever in my entire school life. Yeah, I was a B plus guy, or C plus, or C minus. So that's pretty much my career. And then I opened my own shop. I worked for Millgrove Garage. I think that's what it was called. No, Edgewood Garage with Jim Newman. Great teacher as well. And I loved working for the family there. It was family-owned business. Then from there, I was doing contractor work. I would had a Bronco, put my toolbox in the back, and I would drift around and work a day here, 2 days there, go in, do the jobs, and get paid, and move on to the next shop. And I had a good routine going there, where I had 3 shops that were taking me in, and enjoyed having another tech when things were busy. And that's how I got into business for myself, opened my shop on the Hamilton Mountain in 1991, just coming out of a ugly recession. And we closed it in 2000, late 2000, early 2001, I believe. Yes. I blew my back out, and that toasted me. I was almost in a wheelchair. That's how bad it was. It was bad. My chiropractor closes the door and goes, "You keep doing this, you're going in a wheelchair. And if you let them operate on you, life is not going to be good. So don't do it." So that changed my course quite a bit, actually, at that point. But I posted my resume and got snatched up in about 11 hours on the internet by Volkswagen Canada. And then I spent the next 4.5 years fixing a dealership in the Cambridge area, working with a great team of people there. And we made that dealership go from the bottom out of 12 in the district. So it was, the bottom didn't mean you were doing good. That meant you were doing really bad. And he was about ready to lose his dealership license. A third warning from VWC, Volkswagen Canada. Got there, I assessed the dealership, and I never worked in a dealership in my life, and I was hired as the service mangler and wearing slacks and ties and shirts, which was really weird for me, really weird, but it gave me an opportunity to learn stuff I know today that I wouldn't have learned about how a dealership runs and the politicking in behind the curtain, which helps me help you. So all the experiences and the people I worked for were great people, and I came away, learned a lot of things that I can share with you, and I know what's going on. It's not I'm guessing. I know it because I've been there. And I learned in 4.5 years working 80 plus hours a week at the Volkswagen dealer, I learned a lot. And I knew all the paperwork, warranty work, all of it, how the whole system behind a dealership works. And that helped me to be able to help our listeners at the time, because I was on the air at that time and went on the air in 1996 with Car Connection. That's how it came about. During the period we had our own shop, so we started in 91, we went on the air to help people, and that filled our bay doors. We never ran one commercial. It was always, hey, if you missed Niall today, give him a call at the shop, 571-5344. That was our phone number. And we had people coming as far as Pennsylvania, dropping cars off for a week, vacationing in Canada. It was crazy, but it was all good. At the end of the day, it was all good, and that's how I got into this full time, and it still put me back on the shop floor, being able to fix cars for people and get you out there and use my knowledge to help you to be able to navigate this thing we called the car game and automotive service, maintenance, and repairs. and help you keep an older vehicle going as many miles as you want and putting thousands of dollars back in your pocket. That's what I know how to do. And I learned it through fleet maintenance, doing lots of fleet maintenance when I worked for Cosmo's Garage, and roadside repairs, and going out into the wherever land to get a piece of equipment going, to get it out of there, to get it to the shop. So I had lots of experiences. So from the dealership in Cambridge, anyways, the short story there was in 18 months, we all worked together. I was the captain and the coach. I was always first one there, last one to leave, had the respect of my team, and we were a family. We brought that dealership up out of the muck. We went from the bottom, number 12, to number 1 in Ontario and Canada for parts, sales, and service in 18 months. We got tons of accolades. And when I first started there and I went to management meetings in Toronto and Ajax, all over the place, Pickering, other service manglers wouldn't even sit with me. That's right. I was the disease at Cambridge Volkswagen. We were the laughing stock of the district. 18 months later, can I sit with you now? And I go, no, you wouldn't before. So guess what? You don't now. And no, I'm not going to tell you how we did it. So get lost. That's how you fix it. You know what my professor would say? You want to make those who don't like you mad? Become successful. That's it. Be successful. Do it for you, not for anyone else. So that's a little bit of my history on Fun Friday, and I am grateful to all those who touched my life. There's a lot of businesses I worked for in between. I worked at a business at the top of Sherman Cut in Hamilton. Was that Personal Auto Service? I think it was. The boss was a wiener, but I worked with a couple of really good guys there, techs that were there, and what's his name? Bill. He looked like the guy off of Dick Tracy. He really did. Billy Walker. Yeah, I don't know if he's still around, but he taught me how to rebuild carburetors. And he'd be smoking a cigarette 12 to 18 inches long, rebuilding a carburetor, smoke's going in his eyes, and he let me sit at the workbench after hours for free. I wasn't on the clock, so I could learn how to do carburetors, because he knew how to do them. He could do them in his sleep. And I really wanted to learn that tech service. I really wanted to have that under my belt. And if it wasn't for Billy Walker, I wouldn't know how to do it. And I wouldn't have learned how to do it. And he'd say to me, I remember he said one thing. He never spoke much. Hardly ever at all. He always had this great big, I called it the 18-inch cigarette. It never seemed to burn out to a nub ever. And he'd say, you read every magazine, every article, everything automotive you can get your hands on, you read it and learn it. And you'll be miles ahead of the other guy. Miles ahead of the other guy. And he was a fantastic alignment guy too. Oh my gosh. I learned so much from him. It was crazy good. And those were the days. And Big Jim. Big Jim was man, he had hands the size of boxing gloves. Bigger than that even. And he could pick me up with his bare hand by my head. Just like a suction cup. He was built like a brick poo house, let me tell you. But nice guy, and man, could he throw a bowling ball. I don't think the thing even touched the lane. We used to go bowling together and had a great time with him and his wife, and my wife at the time. But Jim knew how to take stuff apart. He really did. He could get things apart very quickly. He was a Vietnam vet. He got sprayed with Agent Orange, so he had some health issues. But I'll tell you what a great guy. He had a Chevelle SS, a true SS stick. And man, he knew how to drive that car too, let me tell you. So that's just some of my life. I thought I'd share that with you today. Remember, you have that question. 3 frogs on a log, one deciding to jump off. How many frogs on the log? Send me an email with your questions today, and have yourself a wonderful, wonderful weekend in the last few days of the spring break. And I think the U.S. side has their spring break next week. So to our American counterparts, wherever you're listening from, you can grab our podcast off of any platform, anywhere. And we are working on moving our 116 episodes of our podcast over to our YouTube channel. So be keeping an eye out for that as well. So we're trying to make things as easy for you as possible so you can grab the content. So share with me your story. Send me an email. Tell me your story, a little bit of your story. I love to know what you're doing, where you live, not exactly street address and everything. Where are you listening from? What's your job? What was your best job? What was the worst job you ever had? And answer the frog question. And if you have automotive questions or you'd like a topic for me to cover, I will do that for you. That's what I'm here for. I'm in your corner. Your corner. I'm your automotive service technician that's only an email, a YouTube video, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensville on the web, iHeartRadio, and just a minute away from you. So send me your questions, answer the frog question. I'm very interested in what people will answer on that. And then when we're back together on Monday, we'll be on the air tomorrow answering questions. So it's a very busy 1-hour program, 8 till 9, Q&A Saturdays, and Fun Fridays. Hey, if you got some ideas for a Fun Friday topic, let's roll it out. Yeah, bring it to the table. Let's roll it out. Don't be shy, folks. You know what? I won't, if you don't want me to mention first names, that's fine. You can change your name to Georgette or Georgina, whatever. Or, well, we had a name for the fella, too. Can't remember at the moment what it was. It was kind of like, no, it wasn't like that. Anyhow, yeah. I can't remember that we had a name for the guys. Just make one up. Call yourself Joe, Bill, Bob. Doesn't matter. So if you don't want to be known by your first name, it's okay. I'm totally okay with that. But we had a name like Bueller, you know, Bueller. Yeah, it worked really good. When I remember it, I'll share it with you because we always wrote it on the, when the teacher was away and we had a sub, we'd write that name down on the sign-in list. And then it was just screaming hilarious that the substitute teacher would read it out. And we'd just be just about wetting our pants at the back of the class. Yeah, I'll let you know what that is when I remember it. So have yourself a fantastic Friday. Go ahead, have an extra minute at break time and at lunch. That's not too bad. And enjoy your day, whatever it is you're doing. Happy, healthy motoring. And thank you to all our program partners for making the program available to you. We'll see you tomorrow morning for Q&A Saturday, 8 a.m. Another morning, Motormouth Morning Drive. So if you work Saturdays, tune in. If you don't, get up and join us for 8 a.m. and we'll see. If not, if we don't see you on Saturday, we'll see you Monday morning, bright and early, 8 a.m. for another Car Connection Motormouth Morning Drive. Come join us. Bye for now.